Well, we had a pleasant turn of events here in Florida, and we have some nice weather. Fresh off the Freedom 500, I am still beat, man. That was a long race and so much fun. Literally the most fun thing I've ever done. I had so much fun racing there. I held the lead for a while. I was pulling away, cautions, wrecks, bumper to bumper. It's so fun, so fun. Moral of the story is, it's a beautiful day. We're gonna take advantage of it, even though we're tired. We're gonna get back to work. We're gonna make the Subaru great again by fixing its jankiest component currently, the exhaust. So I built this exhaust, I don't remember, a few months back, and I had it straight piped at first and it sounded terrible. It was just awful, awful, awful. So I put this resonator in, I took the exhaust off, cut it apart, put this resonator in. It helped. Still didn't sound good, still sounded way too loud, raspy, nasty. So then I put this muffler in, and I didn't have any extra 45, so I had to like kind of make these ones I had already work, and the exhaust ended up being super low. And I had the fit up was good, but I was like, it'll be fine. It's a Subaru, it's not low. It's not fine. It rubs the ground. Just going down the driveway, this thing rubs the ground. So we're gonna redo it. We're gonna redo pretty much this entire, from our downpipe. This is like an aftermarket downpipe that I bought, but I built everything from this V-band back. So we're gonna pretty much redo everything from this V-band back. We're gonna retain the same muffler and everything, but we're just gonna fix it. My goal is to get it tucked up. Like, we're gonna try to go wild and get this thing tucked up all the way up into that heat shield area, then kind of like tucked down around the axle there and back up. Like, I want to try to make this as nice as possible. I just did a full exhaust build on Ben's LS Miata, if you didn't see that video, and it came out incredibly good. I really took my time on it. I have better stuff now, TIG torch wise and TIG button and things like that to tack stuff on the car. That made a huge difference. So coming off the confidence of doing that, I want to make the Subaru exhaust nice. I also bought this. This is a cold cut saw. So it's like a chop saw. We have one of those. This is Ben's, but the chop saw is using an abrasive disc like you would find on a grinder. Tons of sparks, messy cuts, yada yada. These cold cut saws use a carbide tipped steel blade, and that allows you to get a super clean cut, like ready to weld, fresh, perfect finish cut like I get on my bandsaw, but out of a chop saw. The benefit to that is with the bandsaw, if you make any kind of movement while you're trying to cut through an exhaust, you have some waviness, you don't have great fit up. It works really well, but this should allow us to get perfectly precise, perfectly straight cuts every time. So I'm excited for this. I really, I was excited to use it. I bought it, and the blade it came with did not survive stainless, so I didn't really get to use it on that project, but we're gonna try to use it on this one. I bought a stainless specific blade. Should be fun. So this should also help. Between this and the other stuff, should be able to rip right through fixing this exhaust and redoing it. So we gotta mark where our first cut's gonna be and yank this thing off and start chopping it up. Let's get to it. All right, fingers crossed this goes well. That explains why the cuts weren't very good when I was test cutting when I first got this thing. That is beautiful. Absolutely mint. Look at that cut. Look at the cleanness of that cutting edge. Perfectly straight too. Oh, that's sick. All right, now we're gonna start building from here. We're gonna have to reuse a lot of this stuff, like the flex joint, the resonator, probably some straights out of here, the muffler, but we're gonna start from scratch. But let's get this thing out of here, out of our way. Just like that. Got it ready to slip in and weld muffler again. That is tight. This is what we're going for. Super tight fit up all the way down. So that's piece number one. Seems like a pretty good spot. Draws it back straight, nice and high. Pretty much leveled out from there. So I'm good with that. So this exhaust is so straightforward to build, but also kind of tricky because of little things like that. You can see it's just off to the right. So we gotta go just a little over, just a little back over, resonator, and then out the back. We just need basically the opposite of this. That should turn us right in time to shoot through here. Boom. It's a little off, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
Good though. Alrighty, things are coming along nicely. We got the resonator right in the heat shield pocket. Alright, nice little zigzag over. Gotta cut the hanger off of this guy right here. So here's where we are with this straight section. We've got it level. I told myself I wasn't settling for mediocrity on this build, this exhaust build. If I'm redoing it, I want to make it nice. So see, this isn't there anymore. I cut the hanger off, I re-tacked it up higher. Now are considerably higher. Our V-band is probably not even below the back of the diff here, which is amazing. So this is super tucked up in there. I'm gonna cut these tacks off of this V-band, take it off and cut this about, I don't know, probably an inch shorter. And then that way, you know, we can start our bend down, bend up, bend up, bend down, to dip around the axle. But basically what happened was, once we had this on here with the weight of it and everything, even after changing to a poly hanger, it was still just hanging way too low. So it's really cool though to see the resonator tucked up completely in that heat shield. The V-band's up in there. I mean, it's like just away from hitting everywhere. Perfect. That cold cut saw is the truth, man, I'm telling you. Luckily I had a leftover flange from some other exhaust builds, so I didn't have to try to cut that one off the other thing. I think I might need to go like an inch shorter than that even, just to make sure we have room. All right, I'm gonna try to chop this up a couple of times to make our down and then rotate it and then back up. Not sure how it's gonna go, but we got this whole piece to experiment with, so I think eventually we'll get it, get it right. This is kind of what we're going for here. All right, we need to cut one more. Alrighty, piece number 3. Looking good. Alrighty, here's where we're at. Nicely contoured around the axle. It'll tuck up a little higher. It'll probably be about like that once we put this back hanger on it. So I need to do one more piece kind of going this way to straighten this out, and then come back a little bit, and then we should 90 here, and then 90 right into the can. So once I get this next piece on, we're gonna get the can fitted up here, the muffler, whatever you wanna call it, and then try to figure out how to get from there to there. That's gonna be tricky, because there's not a lot of room. It comes back to about here. And you know, we've got to basically get those 2 bins in such a short distance, front to back. But I'm happy with this. This is coming out nice. I'd prefer not to tack stuff off the car, but desperate times call for desperate measures. It's too hard to try to fit up, 3-4 pieces at once. I'm gonna try to tack these just two tacks together, see if that lines up like I was holding it up there. I marked it. If that's good, then we only have this piece to worry about. Then tacking it in the muffler, which we have some play. Should be able to get a straight piece between these. Looks like. I got it. All right, we've reached the end. That last stent was a little tricky. I got a little bit lazy and put like a meh piece in there, mainly just because it's used. They got all these nice shiny pieces, but fitment is impeccable. I was gonna put a hanger here to try to tuck this up higher, but where it is right now is pretty much where I want it to be height-wise, so I'm good with it. So we're gonna pop it off, weld it out. It'll be cool to see it on the ground. It was so bad before. That thing was hanging down like below the diff entirely. It was awful. So it happens when you rush things. So I'm really happy with taking my time on it and it coming out nice. Alrighty, here it is off the car. This one shouldn't be too bad to weld because, you know, you can rotate it without it. You know, it's pretty much straight basically. So when you rotate it, you don't have this big end flopping around. This one will be a little trickier, but it looks good. Except for that piece. I should have just used, I think I had a new straight piece. I don't know why I didn't use that. This looks janky. Looks like some mismatch, but overall I'm happy with it. Looks nice off the car. let's weld her out. Alrighty, we're on the last piece. This one has the most welds, but they're all pretty close together, so we can do run, 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 adjust, run, you know, basically, instead of trying to do each weld individually, do them all in sections. I don't know if that makes any sense, but anyway, got this piece done. All welded up, came out decent. No real problem, especially for dirty material. So, sweet, that one's done. That's cooling. Weld this Johnny out and then reinstall. Yeah, we definitely ran out of argon. So you can see the colors in this weld, and then you can see it start to get like that dull gray color here, duller, duller, starts getting real messy there. It was sparking and spitting. I thought it was because the doors were open and there was some wind getting in. Did that one, kind of the same story. Got to this one, and yeah, I turned it up here. It started getting better, and then right back. So basically you can tell the bottle's empty when you crank up the flow, and it hardly goes up at all, or it maxes out at, you know, 20, when it should be able to go like way up from there. So we're definitely out of argon. I need to buy a nice flow meter. It's that thing that goes on the bottle. Mine never reads tank pressure, like ever. It pretty much says 0 from the time I get the tank to the time it's empty. So it's always hard for me to tell how much I have left. Yeah, it's kind of total bummer because it's freaking Saturday. I was real excited to finish this up and move on to another project, and now we gotta wait till Monday to go get argon, if even the stores are open. But fit up is good and what I wanted. We just gotta finish welding it out when we get some argon. So guess I'll see you guys Monday. Alrighty, it's Monday. We are back in the shop. Luckily, the gas place was open. So one thing, I did this a while ago. I built this welding cart to be my mobile welding cart. That whole setup is big and bulky and hard to move around, and you know, I've got the foot pedal wire running behind the bin. It's just a pain to like pull it all out to move it around the shop. So the goal with this is we've got the plasma cutter in here so we can cut stuff on the car, and then we've got this Everlast MTS 221 STI multi-process welder. So this is really cool because most multi-process welders, what they do is they do MIG, TIG, and stick welding, but usually they only do DC TIG. So you can do everything but aluminum with DC TIG. Whereas this one does AC DC TIG, so I can do aluminum and steel. I have all the capabilities basically with this welder. So I've got my MIG gun, my ground clamp, and I've got this really cool tiny little CK80 TIG torch with this torch switch. I've had this done for months now, and the one thing I was missing was a bottle of argon. So I've got C25, which this is what you use for MIG welding. For TIG welding, you use straight argon, 100% argon. So I had this bottle for this welder, needed to get it refilled, so I went to get it refilled and get a second one. They didn't have any more 80s. So not only did we upgrade this cart by finally having its own bottle of argon, but we got a 125, as you can see how much bigger that bottle is, for this cart, which has me pretty hyped, honestly. I don't know why I didn't think about it at first, but I was like, man, there's no reason for me not to upgrade to a 125 for this welder, because it fits, it doesn't really change, you know, the packaging of the welder, and the goal of this welder is to stay next to the bench and not get moved around. So now we've got way more capacity. We've got 50% more capacity, so hopefully we won't run out of argon mid-project like we did this time. So anyway, just Taylor, tool nerd, loves tools, nerd things, just hyped on freaking welding bottles. I know it's kind of corny, but I just love tools. So I'm stoked that, you know, we upgraded this, and now this thing's got dual bottles on it. So the only thing I'm waiting on is a flow meter for this bottle. I need one more flow meter. So I ordered a nice one for that welder, because these are cheap ones that come with the welders. So I ordered a nice one for that welder, and then I'm gonna put that one on this. So we'll be able to have our mobile, easy to move welding cutting cart, and we'll be able to do MIG or TIG or stick with it at any given time. I've got this little Y deal. So this will basically, one will go into the C25 bottle, one will go into the argon bottle, and then it'll come out of here and go into the welder. So depending on what we're welding, I can switch this one on if it's argon, or switch this one on if it's MIG, C25. So I'm really hyped. Like I said, just waiting on the flow meter, and this thing will be fully set up finally. So that is super exciting. But anyway, just giving you guys my nerd thoughts. So time to get back to work. Let's weld this thing out. Should come out a lot better than it was going with virtually no argon flow. All right, got it all welded out, welded a lot smoother when we actually had some good argon coverage. What a shocker. Again, as usual, V-bands always come out looking fresh. The V-bands are so easy to weld. Anyway, nerd stuff. Yeah, I'm happy with it. Looks good, came out nice. It's cool seeing the little pie cut area that wasn't for aesthetics, you know, it's functional. So I'm gonna let it cool down for a minute, and then we're gonna toss it on, see what it looks like. Well, there she is, folks. I'm gonna try to insert a clip here of what it was like before. It was just awful, awful, awful. And then what it's like now. I am super, super happy with it. The fitment is so tight everywhere. You can see where we go into the axle. Obviously this could technically be tighter, but I wanted a little bit of a gap so we didn't cook the axle. But that's nice. I would have liked for this to be aimed up a little more, but without chopping angles and stuff, that was the best way to make it fit. And then through here, you can see super tight around the V-band, super tight back here. There's like a 1/4 inch of clearance, just enough to where when it shimmies around, it shouldn't rattle. Hanger. So I'm super happy with it. Like this could have been a little bit higher, but it would have taken doing another piece here up, coming, and then coming kind of back down and over. It would have been even more elaborate than it already is. But I mean, it was pretty elaborate getting this section here to curve over and then curve over back and then up. So, but again, I'm really glad the resonator got tucked up in that heat pocket. It's super tight there. Stoked, man. I am really, really stoked on this. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm kind of stoked on it. Super happy with it. So now that I actually have a nice exhaust, I don't feel bad about getting a nice manifold. So I ordered a really nice turbo manifold to replace this one. This one has seen better days. We replaced the flex joint, but it's definitely cracking and leaking, and the flanges are warped. It's a mess. So I went ahead and ordered a really nice one to replace it. I had a coolant leak that I believe I have fixed. I still need to go through it again, clean it up a little more, and see if that leak's fixed, but the clamp wasn't tight enough here. Yeah, we got that coming. I've got brake caliper adapters and ATSV calipers, and then bigger STI rotors for the front. And then I've got the 2-piston Subaru rears with caliper adapters and stuff for the rear. But anyway, basically we've got a really nice manifold coming for it. Essentially a big brake kit coming, big front, big rear brakes. I'm gonna get the wheels powder coated white. We got BC rear camber plates coming, so we can add about 2 degrees of camber in the rear. Bunch of upgrades coming for this thing, but we got what we could do right now out of the way. Got the exhaust sorted. So let's drop it down and see how she sounds. But I like it because when I'm driving this thing around, you can hear the turbo noise and all the other noises that this car makes. This thing is so dirty though. I'm gonna get it out of here and wash it here in a minute, but I'm gonna lift it up, check for exhaust leaks. If that's all good, we'll pull it out. All right, we're gonna take this thing for a quick rip. I changed the wideband O2 sensor. It's been reading off, so I'm hoping that was the cause. I'm sure we still have an exhaust leak. You can like hear it coming from the header manifold, whatever you wanna call it. It's shaped like a header, but it's a turbo manifold. Anyway, it's definitely coming from there, but it's hard to tell exactly where, and we are replacing that. So might as well see how it is though. Out of corners with the all-wheel drive is unparalleled. Well, we got no rattles, metal on metal noises, presumably no exhaust leaks. Oh, that's bright. All right, let's check ground clearance. Now look at that, dude. That is a ton of ground clearance. We got like freaking 8 inches or something. It's kind of hard to tell on the camera. Maybe I get you guys closer. But there's a ton of ground clearance, which is sick. So it wasn't that bad at first, but when I added the muffler, I made it very low. And I was like, oh, it'll be fine. This thing's big, tall Subaru. Nope, not fine. Anyway, enough showing you guys this. I'm just really excited about it. Happy with it. Definitely came out good. Tons of clearance though, everywhere. So that is exactly what I wanted. Sweet. All right, we're gonna knock out one more little project. Got this Mishimoto Overflow that I've had sitting around. So we're just gonna make a bracket to mount it in the engine bay. Right now I have a janky at the track bottle stuffed in there just to get me by when we were at the firm. So I wanna fix that. So this is messy. I gotta clean it up. Like I said, tracking down a coolant leak. But anyway, I'm gonna put this Overflow right in here. This is a bracket for the stock Overflow, but that would be for a WRX, which this car doesn't have as much room there as a WRX does. So I'm gonna cut this off, and then we're gonna build a little mount. This has like half a mount. So we're gonna weld onto this mount, build a little mount over to probably this bolt or something. But first we gotta cut this off. And there is our finished product. Came out pretty decent, no complaints. And it's just a simple little aluminum bracket. Oh no, dang it. Bang, now I gotta see if I have the right size hose for this. Alrighty, Overflow is in and done. Mounted up nice. This was just a hand-me-down that was lying around, so it's always nice to repurpose parts that probably wouldn't see another life otherwise. But it's not too bad. You know, fits in there pretty decent. We got some room to the engine. All good. Sweet. So that's all hooked up and done finally. Well, that was definitely one of our coolant leaks, was the Overflow splashing about. So, all right. Well, I'm going to go take this thing for a quick cruise now that it's cleaned up. And just to enjoy it some, this is kind of, I feel like this is pretty much like going to be the last nice day we have. It's been nice out for the past couple days, and it's going to get warm again, and we're not going to get one of these cold snaps where it gets down below freaking 80 degrees, 70 degrees again. It's not gonna happen. So I'm gonna do my best to enjoy this probably last day of not super hot, humid Florida, and go take this thing for a cruise. So with that being said, that is gonna be it for this video. I'll see you guys for the next one. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Goodbye.